Hi, YouTubers and wet shavers everywhere. It's Mark with GeorgeTune.com. I'm back with another Monday Morning Mailbag. Get yourself a cup of coffee, kick back, relax. Let's talk a little wet shaving and a few other things. What do you got this morning? I got a terrific coffee this morning, an old familiar friend. Hang on 1 minute. Yeah, that is terrific. Stirling Roastery, their house blend right there. Let's zoom in there. And hopefully that'll focus. Come on. Focus. There it is. All right. Bold and smooth. Medium dark roast. And we have the ground coffee. And a big thank you to Rod and Mandy for making these available at the Maggard Meetup. That's where we picked it up. Picked up a couple of bags of coffee. Breakfast blend and their house blend. The house blend, really, really wonderful. Hang on. Let me get another sip here. Really terrific. That's really, really good. And we're using our Philadelphia coffee mug. This came courtesy of viewer William Meredith. William, thank you very, very much. William, a very, very proud resident of the greater Philadelphia area. And the reason why we're using the Philadelphia coffee mug is to give you a gentle reminder of the great Mid-Atlantic Wet Shavers Meetup that is taking place on Sunday, October 18th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets are $40, including lunch, and you can contact Glenn Sherman for more information. We'll have his email below where you can contact Glenn and get tickets for this event. Artisans, educational opportunities, huge piff table, door prizes, swag bags, trivia contest, and more. It's taking place at the Conshohocken Brewing Company. I think I said that right. The Conshohocken Brewing Company in their KOP tap room, 3100 Horizon Drive, King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, only 20 minutes from Center City, Philadelphia. That's why we're using the Philadelphia coffee mug. And Tobin Fetters also has a video breakdown on what's going to take place at the meetup in October. Want to give you a gentle reminder. We'll be talking about it more as the date draws closer. That's going to be in October 18th. We'll already be into the fall season. But right now, we're into the summer season, and that means beachside resorts, amusement parks, that sort of thing. Whenever I think of amusement parks and beachside resorts, I think of saltwater taffy. Yeah, a very, very seasonal treat. And we got this from James Sefton. Mark, my second cousin, lives in Perth, Australia, and years ago he started a candy shop. His name is Sam Morris. I saw a couple of videos on it, and we'll send them to you. Thank you very much, James. We'll have the links below. You can see these saltwater taffy machines in action. James mentioned this. Mark, the wrapping machine was made in 1921, and he went through it, and it's good as new. Check that out. That machine goes back to 1921, and I happened to mention to him, come to think of it, that wrapping machine is as old as some vintage razors we discuss, and it has more moving parts, too. How about that? And James said, yeah, I thought of that very same thing. So we'll link those videos below so you can get a look at them. They're only about 30 or 40 seconds in length, and really, really neat to see that because we're into summer, and saltwater taffy is definitely a summer treat if you're going to go to an amusement park or a beachside resort, that sort of thing. Great to be with you. Hang on 1 minute. Let me get another sip here. That's terrific. And as we like to say on the show, a good hot cup of coffee. No, what do we say? Well, here it is. We say a good hot coffee, a trusty mug. Let the caffeine go to work, gentlemen. The number of times I say that, you'd think I wouldn't flub it. Every once in a blue moon. A good hot coffee, a trusty mug. Let the caffeine go to work, gentlemen. That's absolutely correct. And hey, if you're taking me along on your morning commute, thanks very much for the lift. I really do appreciate that. If you're listening to the audio podcast this morning, thanks very much for tuning in via all those great streaming platforms like iHeartMusic, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, that sort of thing. Thank you very, very much. Hang on, let me get another sip here. That is terrific. We got a great show for you here. Let me get over to my notes. Let me click on this where it says topics and hit that bookmark, and there it goes right there in my notes. We have got a really great viewer shaving tip for you this morning. Kind of a quick shaving tip, but really very, very helpful nonetheless from John Newton. We got a shave den visit courtesy of who gave him this came from Scott Martin. Stay tuned for that. This is really neat. Scott, thank you very, very much. We got the usual round of reminders. We got some giveaway updates. Yeah, we got a giveaway update, especially with the artisan and engineer giveaway. Stay tuned for that. We also want to remind you of meetups. And I think the Great Texas Wet Shave Meetup took place this past weekend, and hopefully we'll get some photos and some highlights from some of the viewers, and we'll share those with you, in an upcoming Monday Morning Mailbag, probably next week's show. And we also have some refill comments. We got some new wet shaving gear to share with you, and we got some terrific questions and comments, some answers to some questions we posed last week. So great to be with you this morning. I really do appreciate you tuning in. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. Hey, let's get the show kicked off like we do every week with a viewer morning shaving tip. Well, sometimes here on the channel, we feature razors that have a really neat feature. And let me show you that neat feature with the winning razor that we acquired from Charles Smith. And of course, Charles gave a great polish to this razor. Charles, thank you again very, very much. Here's the neat feature. On the bottom of the handle is a little magnet. Check that out, okay? See that right there? That little magnet right there? Okay? Check that out. Okay, so that's very, very useful, very helpful if you drop a razor blade on your counter and it's sitting flat. Maybe there's a little bit of water underneath it, that sort of thing. Rather than try to pry it up, maybe even risk maybe cutting yourself with the blade, you can use the magnet on the end of this razor handle and just pick it up like that. How about that? Now, of course, this blade is wrapped up for safety concerns, but you get the idea. If the blade was exposed and that sort of thing, and you just accidentally dropped it on the counter and you wanted to pick it up, you have the magnet on the end of this razor handle, and that is very, very convenient. A really, really neat feature to have in some razors. And we have this magnet in a couple of razors in the Shave Den, notably the winning razor that was made by Yates Manufacturing. But we have a shaving tip that kind of solves this problem for you if you don't have a razor with a magnet on the bottom of the handle. And this shaving tip comes from viewer John R. Newton. And he writes, "Dear Mark, this is an example of how you can make a blade picker-upper instead of purchasing a pocket magnet. This one cost me only the price of the magnet." And that's from John R. Newton, also known as John's Pipe Journey. John, thank you very, very much. There it is right there. All he's doing is affixing a magnet on the end of a wooden popsicle stick or a tongue depressor. I think it's a popsicle stick. And look at that. He has a blade picker-upper. So if you need a blade picker-upper, here's a really, really clever and inventive solution for picking up those razor blades that are sitting flat on your counter and you don't happen to have a razor with a magnetic bottom, that sort of thing. You can make your very own blade picker-upper as shown in the photo that John sent along. John, thank you very, very much for a really, really clever and inventive shaving tip. Really do appreciate that. Now, John already has, here it is right here. John already has an original signed George sketch. But if you out there would like an original signed George sketch, just send me a shaving tip. Send that shaving tip to mondaymailbag@gmail.com, mondaymailbag@gmail.com. And if I use your shaving tip here on the Viewer Morning Shaving Tip segment of the Monday Morning Mailbag, you too will receive an original signed George sketch. So John, thanks again for a really, really terrific shaving tip. Really do appreciate it. Okay, it's time for a Shave Den visit.
Grab your favorite shave soap, whip it up, rich and creamy, fill your cup, boom, lather. Hot towel ready, face feels prime, a classic shave, so smooth, so fine. 30 degrees, a light touch, let the razor do the work, no need to rush. Shave like a pro, close and neat, a shave so smooth it can't be beat. Slap on your favorite splash, feel that glow. Shave complete, now Now you're ready to go. Oh, boom, shave complete. You're ready to go.
Well, this morning's Shave Den visit comes courtesy of viewer Scott Martin. And Scott writes, "Hi, Mark. I thought I'd contribute a recent find to your Shave Den visit segment this week. I'm not sure if you featured one of these in the past or not, but I came into possession of a Stolly razor, something I had never seen or even heard of." Now, Stolly razor is spelled capital Stahly, and it's pronounced, I believe, Stolly. Stolly razor, something I had never seen or even heard of. The appearance was shocking until I read that the big fat handle houses a wind-up mechanism that vibrates the blade ever so slightly from side to side to achieve a slicing motion. They marketed this as a wind-up live blade. And when I say the blade motion is slight, I really mean you can barely perceive it with your eyes. Needless to say, I was leery because it could be one of those shaving gimmicks that didn't work and was lost to time. However, I learned that this company was selling these things from 1940 to 1970, so they must have had some fans out there. So tonight, I threw a Wilkinson sword blade in it to take it for a test drive. I had a thick 6-day beard growth, a Clown Fruit Cube 2.0, and a Martin de Condré lather for my first pass. I was stunned. There was no pull whatsoever from the whiskers. So little that I thought I had forgotten to load the blade. The live blade sliced through the beard growth like it wasn't even there. I've never felt anything like it. After pass number 2, I was BBS smooth, and that was that. Needless to say, I was shocked at the results. I did have to wind it up a few times during the shave, but that wasn't a big deal. I have to commend the Stolly people. They really had something special going on back in the day. Cheers. And that's from Scott Martin. Wow, Scott. No, I've never featured this on the program before. Thank you so much for sharing it with everyone out there. And that is really, really neat. I would love to have one of those in my own shave den just to try it out and review it. Now, Scott also sent along this brief video clip of the wind-up action. And see if you can see the blade moving. Here, check it out. Wow, Scott, thank you again for sending along the video, the photos, and your experience with the Stolly wind-up razor. Folks, do you have one of these in your shave den? Please comment below and let us know. Or send in your own video, your own photos, that sort of thing, and we'll share it with all the viewers out there. Scott, thanks again very, very much. Before we get out of the Shave Den segment this morning, also wanted to show you this from James Sefton. And he writes, "Hey, Mark, I thought I would send you this photo just for the heck of it. It's most of my razors, but not all of them." And that's from James Sefton. James, thank you very, very much. You got a great looking collection of razors there. I see you got that great looking Chieftain there, and you also have the Emperor Meiji. You got a Fatigué Grande there. You got a Slant. Got some really, really good-looking razors there. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with all the viewers out there. You got a great-looking Super Speed there. Check that out, folks. That's like 1, 2, 3, the fourth razor from the bottom on the right there. Go count 4 from the right, and there's that Super Speed there. Wow, that's a good-looking razor. Wow, James, thanks so much for sharing that with all the viewers out there. I really do appreciate it. And hey, folks, how about your shave den? Would you like to share your shave den with all the viewers out there? Just send it to the Monday Morning Mailbag at mondaymailbag@gmail.com. Send photos, send videos, a little brief synopsis of what you have, a little tour, and we'll be sure to share it with all the viewers out there. Gentlemen, both James Sefton and Scott Martin, thanks again very, very much. Well, here's your reminder to check out shavesplash.com. This is a website that was created by viewer Lee Meyer. If you happen to have a shave soap, but you don't have an aftershave splash for it, well, shavesplash.com is a scent matching website. So you'll be able to find a complimentary aftershave scent that will go with that shaving soap. Really, really terrific. And they also have some great articles and features up there. So check it out. We'll have the link below, shavesplash.com, from viewer Lee Meyer. Well, the channel now has auto dub technology courtesy of Google and YouTube. And as the name suggests, it will automatically translate this audio from English into Italian, German, Portuguese, Spanish, or French. Pretty amazing. Simply click on the gear in the lower right of the video screen. A menu will pop up, and there you can select the language that you wish to hear the audio in: Italian, German, Portuguese, Spanish, or French. It translates it from English to any of those languages in real time, on the fly. Pretty amazing. Auto dub. Check it out. Well, here's your weekly reminder that the Monday Morning Mailbag is also available as a podcast. Simply get up to your favorite streaming service and search for Monday Morning Mailbag and more, Monday Morning Mailbag and more, and the Monday Morning Mailbag podcast, as well as our other podcast, Second Cup, will come right up. Both of those podcasts are available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, and now iHeartRadio. Well, we received this heads up from David Dart and also this information from Carlos Medeiros regarding the GTA Meetup. And we'll link to Carlos's Facebook page where he has this information posted. And here's what he wrote. It's that time again for the GTA Meetup, June 13th, 2026 at 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And this one's gonna be huge. We have a bunch of artisans and vendors that are attending. Sponsored by the Razor Company, there will be t-shirts given away. The vendors and artisans attending are as follows: the Razor Company, Razor Emporium, Aylesworth Razors, First Canadian Shave, Educated Beards, Ritual Shaving, Spot Prints, and more. A bunch of your fave wet shavers and live Instagram show hosts: Sloppy Badger, Vintage Head Shaver, and Canadian Mafia Show. There will also be a ton of giveaways that are sponsored by the artisans and vendors. There will also be a huge pay it forward table with tons of goodies. It will be held at the same location as last year, Fiona McCool's on Highway 7 in Vaughan, Ontario. So there you go, folks. This Saturday, June 13th, 2026, the GTA Meetup. My thanks to David Dart and Carlos Medeiros for the heads up and all the great information. This Saturday, June 13th, 2026, the GTA Meetup. Well, we have some giveaway updates for you this morning. First up is the Artisan and Engineer giveaway. We heard from our winner, Tim Morris. Tim claimed his prize on Monday, June 1st. The deadline was Tuesday, June 2nd. So Tim got in with plenty of time to spare, really. It was great to hear from him. Here's what he emailed us. Hey, Mark, thank you for the giveaway, and here's my address. You're so nice to give me leeway. Well, we were talking about giving some leeway if we hadn't heard from him because, things get busy, life happens, that sort of thing. But again, he claimed his prize before the deadline. Let me start over. You're so nice to give me leeway. And actually, I've been busy with my honeybees and work. If it hadn't been for David Lair sending me a message, I don't think I would have known. Thank you for all your work and effort for putting on your show. My pleasure, Tim. I'm so glad that David contacted you and made you aware that you were the winner. That's really, really terrific. Tim also posted this message in the comment section of last week's Monday Morning Mailbag. Oh, wow, Mark, wouldn't have known I had won a drawing if David Lair hadn't messaged me. Sorry about the delay as my work and beehives have been keeping me busy. Thank you, Mark, and thank you, David, email sent to you, Mark. Yeah, we received the email, and I'm so glad you claimed the prize. That's great, Tim. We have shipped Tim the prize. We sent him tracking with that, and probably by the time this airs, he will have received it. So probably on the next show, we'll give you an update, a photograph, and that sort of thing, that he received everything in good condition. So congratulations again, Tim, and a big, big thank you to David Lair for reaching out to Tim and letting him know that he won that wonderful prize, the Artisan and Engineer giveaway. That's terrific. Now, a reminder that tomorrow is the deadline to enter a Summer of Vintage Gillette Shaving giveaway. That's right, June 9th, 2026. That's tomorrow. That's the deadline to enter, and that's also when we will be selecting the winner. What time tomorrow? I don't know. It depends on my schedule, so make sure to enter as soon as possible. We've got 4 beautiful razors that we're giving away, vintage razors that were very kindly and generously donated to the channel by viewer Easy D, also known as Mr. Anonymous. Easy D, thank you very, very much for sponsoring this giveaway. Really do appreciate it. 4 great vintage razors, 4 winners. It's a Summer of Vintage Gillette Shaving. Enter today, and good luck, everyone. Well, what do you know? Coffee's getting low, that time of the show. Let's go back for a refill. Well, I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me this morning. I hope you went back for a refill. I sure did. Hang on, let me get another sip here. Yeah, that is terrific. That is terrific. Once again, we're enjoying Stirling Roastery's House Blend right there. Check that out, huh? That is bold and smooth, a medium dark roast, ground coffee. We picked this up at the Maggard Meetup. A big thank you to Rod and Mandy of Stirling for making this available at their table. Yeah, terrific. We picked up 2 bags, House Blend and also the Breakfast Blend. And we're enjoying our Philadelphia coffee mug that came courtesy of viewer William Meredith. William, thank you again very, very much. And again, a gentle reminder that this October, the Great Mid-Atlantic Wet Shavers Meetup is happening. We'll have those links below. And also our official coffee coaster that came from soapspoon.com and Andy Kaiser. Andy, thank you again very, very much. This is terrific. That's the official coffee coaster of the Monday Morning Mailbag right there. Gosh, great to be with you this morning. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. Hang on, one more sip. That is great. And is your coffee healthy? Hey, if you want to find out, just check out the Black Coffee Life. That's Mantic 59's blog website, where he talks about all the health benefits of drinking black coffee. And also, check out the Lockhorns. Someday we'll look back on this and quickly change the subject. A wonderful hardcover collection of great Lockhorn panel cartoons. And also check out the Lockhorns 2026 Laugh-A-Day calendar. Start your day off with a great Lockhorns panel cartoon. Both of those by my good friends Bunny Host and John Reiner. And we'll have the Amazon links below. Hang on, let me get another sip here. Yeah, that is terrific. Wow, that's great. Hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me this morning. Hey, let's get to some of these refill comments. This comes from Glory on High 777. Those military sets are awesome. Yeah, this is in regards to these wonderful military sets that Jim from Northfield shared with everyone in last week's Shave Den visit, because this past Saturday was the anniversary of D-Day. So we highlighted those razor sets, those military razor sets, this past Monday, leading up to the anniversary of D-Day. So a big thank you to Jim from Northfield. If you missed it, check out last week's Monday Morning Mailbag. Glory on High 777. I agree. They were absolutely awesome, and some great history there as well. Andrew Hill, 1965, writes, "Good morning. Great show as always. And John Shaves 101, that dessert looked delicious. I'm enjoying his weekly food pictures and stories behind them. The rest of the show is wonderful as always. Have a great week. Yeah, John Shaves 101 is maintaining this wonderful Monday morning mailbag tradition that when it's a bank holiday over in England and he has Monday off, he enjoys a dessert when he's watching the Monday Morning Mailbag, and he shares this with everyone. And we do a little bit of history behind the pastry and that sort of thing. And yeah, it's been an absolutely wonderful tradition, and it really resonates with all the viewers out there. So John Shaves 101, thank you very, very much for allowing me to share that with all the viewers out there. And Andrew Hill, 1965. I agree with you. That it looked delicious, and it's a great Monday morning mailbag tradition created by John Shaves 101 across the pond. We'll have a link to his YouTube channel. Give it a look. John Shaves 101, thanks very much. And Andrew, thank you very, very much. This comes from Bill Murphy. Great show again, Mark. Don't know how I missed Dude of Oud at the Meetup. It's on my radar for the future as I have 3 soaps on order and running out of room for more. Have a wonderful week. Well, if you get the gentleman's set, it'll save some space and it also travels well. And I like this one a lot. I've already done a review of the Bon Ton barbershop soap, and great lather. And this is a really unique scent. We'll make sure to link to this also and to the Cajun Blade store where you can check out all their offerings there and learn more about Dude of Oud and all their other offerings there. Bill, I hope you get this. I haven't reviewed it yet. I like the scent of the shave soap. But here's something that Nate Jackson pointed out to us. Hi, Mark. Just wanted to throw in my 2 cents on Dude of Oud. It is by far, and I say this without exaggeration, the slickest soap I have ever used. For me, slickness is the most important thing I look for in a soap, and then the smell. Which brings me to the aftershave, or after sauce, as it says on the bottom. Yeah, it does say after sauce there. I don't know if you can see that right there. Let's zoom in there. Okay. After sauce right there. Dude of Oud after sauce. Okay. And he says, which brings me to the aftershave or after sauce, as it says on the bottle. The initial smell is wonderful, but as it dries down, the smoky smell starts to come out, and now I start to smell like an ashtray. So if you like that cigarette smell, this splash is for you. But if not, I would suggest not buying the splash. Well, I haven't tried this just yet. And let me just sample this. Well, again, I'm not getting that too much. I like this scent a lot. And maybe in the dry down, it does have more of a tobacco flavor kind of a thing. But thanks for pointing that out and making everyone aware of it. Now, Nate also followed up with an email. Hi, Mark. I see that you responded to my post on YouTube about Dude of Oud. I know we like to say your mileage may vary in this community of wet shavers, and that may be the case with you as well. I'm not a smoker and never have been, but have lived my life around enough family and friends that do smoke. And I have just come to a point where I do not like the smell of cigarettes. I hope my comments do not offend any smoker out there. No, I don't think it offends anyone at all, Nate. And I think that, yeah, having lived around a lot of tobacco and cigarette scents and ashtrays and that sort of thing, yeah, I think that's going to kind of affect your sense of smell when it comes to the different aftershave splashes and soaps and that sort of thing out there. Now, no one in my family smoked. I think my late oldest brother Jay smoked, but I never saw him smoke. So he never smoked around me, as I recall. But no, we were not a family of smokers, so to speak. So I wasn't in that environment. So when I do get a little bit of a whiff of tobacco or something like that, it's not, to me, it's not that bad. And I like this scent. I'm really curious about the dry down, and we're going to be doing a review on this. So I don't think your comments are offensive at all or negative or anything like that. I think they're very, very informative. Your mileage may vary. Folks, if you have Dude of Oud, and especially the after sauce, What do you say about the dry down? What do you say about the scent? Please comment below and let us know. Again, Nate, I think very, very good comment. And it's all about informing fellow wet shavers of your experience and what they might expect. Now, someone might get it and splash it on, and during the dry down might say, wow, love this scent. Again, your mileage may vary, but thank you for that information. I think it's very, very valuable. Thanks again, Nate. Really, really do appreciate it. We got this from Beth Jones. She writes, good morning, Mark. Love the Buc-ee's coffee mug. If you have not yet been to a Buc-ee's, that needs to be on your bucket list. We have them all over the place here in Texas. Have a great rest of the week. Yeah, we've got that one in the greater Dayton area that just opened up. It's on my bucket list. And if I'm in that neck of the woods, I'm definitely going to visit and definitely going to shoot some video and that sort of thing. So I guess I'm going to be traveling to Dayton. When? I don't know. But if I do, Buc-ee's is definitely on my list. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe for some reason I'll be traveling someplace else in the country and there will be a Buc-ee's, and you can bet I'm going to stop and I'm going to have a great time. I'm probably going to spend all day there. And Beth, thank you very, very much for the Buc-ee's t-shirt. That's what kicked off Buc-ee's. Beth and Jim sent this beautiful Buc-ee's t-shirt. You've seen it before in the show, and it's great. And that's how we got the mug from Barry Bedford and, that sort of thing. But Beth and Jim introduced the channel and all the viewers out there to Buc-ee's. Had no idea what Buc-ee's was. And isn't it something that they finally opened up in Ohio? And it all kind of started with Beth and Jim and also Barry Bedford. So my thanks to Texans, Beth and Jim and Barry Bedford for sending along all the great Buc-ee items. Thank you again very, very much. Beth, thanks so much for the comment this morning. Really do appreciate it. This comes from viewer Wilfred Otores, 6628. I think that's it. Wilfred Otores, 6628. And he writes, hi, Mark. I'm enjoying the mailbag. I'm curious if you have worked on the radio at any point or on TV. No, I've never been on the radio or TV. I've never worked in either of those media. But I have done my fair share of public speaking. As a cartoonist, I would get invited to schools, libraries, community centers, that sort of thing. You set up an easel and you start drawing and you start talking. It's kind of like baptism by fire. But I had a little bit of an advantage in that in being a member of the National Cartoonist Society, I watched some of the great cartoonists do their chalk talks and talk in front of an audience. And just observing them, I learned a little bit about how to do that. And the one thing I learned in giving a public presentation live to an audience, whether it's a school or a library, whatever, is if you forget something, you can always go to the easel and start drawing. And you can kind of start drawing the character and talking about what you're drawing. Here's George's nose, and then I'm going to make this line here, and that's kind of the top of his head, and here are his eyes right here, and then here's his jowl, that sort of thing. And then while you're doing that, you can kind of think about what the next thing is you should say, that sort of thing. And as I got a little more experience, then I would actually bring in slides and show folks, project it on a screen, show them finished comic strip art and that sort of thing. And that was always fun. Talk about the process and how you create a comic strip and that sort of thing. And the other thing that was really, really great was taking questions from the audience. That was always a lot of fun, and that kind of loosened up things as well. After you get done covering all your topics and trying to hit all your high points, inevitably, there is an audience member or two or three or many that come up with these really, really great questions that inspire you to give answers that jog your memory on some detail that you wanted to include but you forgot. But because they asked a question, you're able then to talk about it. That was always great. So I really enjoyed taking questions from the audience. because, they were very, very inspiring, and they really helped the presentation along, and it involved everyone out there. Now, I haven't done any live presentations in a long time, but I guess that experience has helped me create the Monday Morning Mailbag. And in the same way, getting these refill comments that you and other audience members send in really add to the show and really add that inspiring part, that inspiring bit that leads to all these great discussions. And that's why I say, without you, this microphone would be silent, which is why I really, really enjoy the refill segment, because some of the comments that viewers send in are just great. And the questions and comments section, that's always great as well. Some very, very insightful questions and some great comments that lead into different discussions about the traditional wet shave, about gear, about when to do it, about lathers, about shaving bowls. I mean, it's without you there, I don't think this Monday Morning Mailbag would be as involved and as informative as it is. So that's kind of the parallel I see. When I took questions when I was giving a presentation on cartooning, inevitably those questions inspired a lot of great answers and a lot of great discussions. And in the same way, your refill comments do the same thing for the Monday Morning Mailbag. So thank you all very, very much. And that wraps up another refill segment. My thanks to everyone who contributed. Really do appreciate it. We'll do it again next week. Okay, let's check out some new wet shaving gear. Well, we received this from viewer Abene Samant, and he writes, "Hi Mark, hope you're having a great weekend and enjoying this warm weather. Finally. After we met at the Maggards Meetup, you planted a bug in my ear about the Feather AS-D2 razor. I've been eyeing up this razor for several years and have always thought it was a little too expensive, but I was very tempted at the Meetup to pick one up, but they were sold out. Well, I happened to be surfing one day and I found a Japanese website that had it on sale for an incredible price. It is literally less than 50% the cost of the razor and stand in Canada, even when you factor in shipping and duty. I've seen this for around $425 Canadian plus taxes, but I actually picked this up for $239 Canadian, which is $174 US, with shipping and duty. It took about 2 weeks to show up, but it was well worth the wait. I was worried this was perhaps a counterfeit razor, but I checked it all out and even ran the pictures through Copilot AI to verify, and it looks like the real deal to me. Can't wait to take it for a spin." Here's the link to the website, and we'll provide that link below, folks, if you're interested. Check that out. And he writes, "Cheers, Abi," and that's from Abene Samant. And he followed up with, "Please feel free to share my email and the photos. I'd really appreciate it if you could also give a shout out to my Instagram. It's called wet_shaving_blue noser because I grew up in Nova Scotia before moving to Ontario after university. Blue noser is an old nickname for Nova Scotians that goes back to the 18th and 19th centuries, originally tied to the hardy sailors and fishermen whose noses turned blue from the cold Atlantic winds, and later popularized by the famous racing schooner Blue Nose." And we'll have that link also to Abene's Instagram account, Wet Shaving Blue Noser. That was really terrific. So yeah, I'm so glad you got that Feather razor, Abby. Please get a review done on it and let us know how you like it. So folks, do you have a Feather razor in your shave den? Please comment below and let us know. Feel free to send in your own review. And I'll be looking forward to hearing your review of the Feather Razor, the AS-D2, stainless steel razor, as I recall. Boy, that's a beautiful, beautiful looking razor, and you got it at a great price. Again, folks, we'll have that link to that website where Abby got his, and also to his Instagram account, Wet Shaving Blue Noser. Well, it's actually wet_shaving_ blue noser, but you know, you know what I mean. So give that a look. Abby, thanks again very, very much. Well, we received this review from viewer Jamie Horn on Phoenix Shaving's Agua Dulce, their homage to Florida water. Yeah, we love Florida water in the shave den. And here's what Jamie has to say. Agua Dulce is as grand and comparable to Florida water as a wet shaver can get. I recently had my first shave with it, and it is refreshingly incredible. The floral bouquet is very invigorating as the classic scent goes, yet combined with that amazing Phoenix Formula CK6 technology. If you love Florida water, this one is a must-have for the shave den. Hey, Jamie, thank you again very, very much. There you go, folks, from Phoenix Shaving, Agua Dulce, their homage to Florida water. And again, Florida water, absolutely fantastic scent. And here you have Phoenix Shaving doing their homage, which is spot on Florida water, along with Formula CK6, as Jamie has stated here. So give it a look from Phoenix Shaving, Agua Dulce. Jamie, thanks very, very much for the review. Really do appreciate it. Well, as we mentioned, the summer months, Florida water, Agua Dulce, just perfect for the warm weather coming our way. Great scents and just a great cool down factor also from Florida water and Agua Dulce from Phoenix Shaving. Thanks again to Jamie Horn. Speaking of summer months and great cool scents and shave soaps, that sort of thing, David Dart sent this in regarding Stirling Orange Chill. David, thank you very much. He writes, Mark, good morning. On Friday, I received some goodies from Top of the Chain. I bought an Omega Elite GT synthetic brush. I admire the one you have, so I had to have one. Yeah, this one, this Omega Elite GT series shaving brush was very kindly and very generously sent to the channel by viewer Matt Panter. This is a wonderful brush. It's beyond wonderful. It's phenomenal. You know, I'm sure you know in your shave den you rotate some brushes in and out. This one never gets rotated out. It's always there in the shave den. That's how wonderful this shaving brush is. So David, so glad you were able to secure one of these. These are terrific. And again, a big, big thank you to viewer Matt Panter. Anyhow, David continues here. I bought an Omega Elite GT synthetic brush. I admire the one you have, so I had to have one. A truly beautiful and wonderful brush. Soft tips and plenty of backbone. I also bought Stirling Orange Chill Soap and Splash. I just had my first shave using these items, and it was wonderful. I did a cold water shave using my Phoenix Shaving Menthol Cube pre-shave and the Stirling Orange Chill Soap. Using my Razor Rock Game Changer razor and a Super Iridium blade, I had a BBS shave. Then I used Thayer's Witch Hazel and then Stirling Orange Chill aftershave. I finished off with Stirling Unscented Aftershave Balm. This was a very refreshing shave, to say the least. And the scent of Orange Chill is spot on, like a freshly squeezed orange. Have a great day. And again, that comes from David Dart. Another great shave soap and scent to have during the summer months in your shave den from Stirling, Orange Chill. And also check out the Elite GT Series synthetic shaving brushes. David, thanks again very, very much. Well, last week, viewer David Trinks shared a shaving tip with us, a case that he uses for razor blade organization, a really terrific tip. If you missed it, check out last week's Monday Morning Mailbag. But a couple days after the show aired, David very kindly and generously sent to the channel that very case. And I've placed some razor blades in here to kind of show you exactly how it works. Here it is right here. How about that? We'll try to keep the glare down from the light there, okay? But you can see that you can arrange these razor blades either, I guess you could say, vertically or horizontally. And I especially want to show you the right here, the feather blades. Let's show you the feather blades right here. These are the blades that come in those little larger plastic cases. And you can see that they'll fit, let me show you, they'll fit up and down, but not so much side to side. They won't fit side to side, but they'll fit up and down like that. And you can put your blades in up and down, side to side, however you want to do it, vertically, horizontally. And boy, you can really, really organize a lot of razor blades with this case. And again, it's got a great cover, some great secure latches. Looks like it's waterproof, splash proof. Your blades are not going to get wet. That's my biggest problem. It was when I have these cardboard tucks, inevitably they'll get wet. I'll have it off to the side, and you know me, I splash a lot. That'll get wet, and I find myself having to take out the razor blades and kind of maybe set them aside where the paper can dry out a little bit, and then the case, the actual paper tuck case, so to speak, has to dry out so I can put them back in there. Well, no more. This case will do it right here, the Andalus case. Boy, this is terrific. We'll have a link to it again. A big, big thank you to viewer David Trinks for very kindly sending this along to the channel. And again, like I say, the larger plastic cases with the feather blades or any of those, Wilkinson sword, they'll fit in here, up and down or vertically like that. And you can also do, like right here, side to side, horizontally, like that. And I've got some super iridiums right here. How about that? Isn't that fantastic? And you can put a lot of blades in here. I mean, this is going to hold a lot, and you can keep everything organized and at your fingertips. A really, really terrific Andalus case from available on Amazon and very kindly sent to the channel by viewer David Trinks. Check out last week's Monday Morning Mailbag for that shaving tip. And this is what it is right here, so you can kind of see it firsthand. But check out his shaving tip from last week, and we'll also have a link again to this item. Really, really terrific. David, thank you again very, very much. We received this review from viewer Bob LaRoe on the Grooming Society Double Edge Safety Razor Blades. And Bob writes, "These are high quality blades, nicely packaged, no plastic. Good branding on the blades. You'll get a close yet smooth shave. The sharpness seems similar to Persona and Atra. I used an Edwin Jagger DE89 razor and some Taubach shave soap, did 3 passes up, down, and across, and I got a BBS shave. I've tried dozens of blades, and I think I know a good blade when I try it. These are keepers. You should easily get 3 to 4 shaves from each blade. Your mileage may vary, but I think these are superb and well worth considering." Hey, Bob, thanks very, very much. Folks, we'll have a link to Amazon where you can check out the Grooming Society Double Edge Safety Razor Blades. Bob, thanks for the heads up and the terrific review. Once more, the Grooming Society Double Edge Safety Razor Blades available on Amazon. We'll have a link below. And that wraps up this week's look at new wet shaving gear. My thanks to everyone who contributed. Really do appreciate it. We'll do it again next week. Okay, let's check out some of these questions and comments. Well, we've had some discussion about Russian razors, and David Lair sent this along. His email has the subject heading Russian razors, and he writes, "Hey Mark, the subject of Russian razors came up on the last 3MB, and I thought I would send along pictures of the two that I have. Here's what I found out from AI on both. The teal box. The text on the box says," well, he gives the Russian equivalent here. We'll try to put that on screen. That translates to shaving apparatus or safety razor in English. The text inside the lid says, and of course we'll put that on screen again because I don't speak Russian, translated to English, Factory of Plastic Devices, Leningrad. So the full translation is Leningrad Factory of Plastic Devices. That's the manufacturer mark. Leningrad is the Soviet-era name for St. Petersburg. Matches the outside of the box. This was made in the USSR as a plastic safety razor. And I see you've still got some Bristol razor blades in there too. Now, the small brown case. That brown plastic case is a classic Soviet-era safety razor kit. Here's what you've got, what it is. You're holding a Soviet DE safety razor made by the Leningrad Factory of Plastic Devices, same maker as your teal box. The logo on the case shows a razor with 7 and then some sort of Russian lettering here. We'll put it on screen. Underneath, these were mass-produced consumer goods in the USSR from roughly the 1950s to the 1970s. Here are the key details. Manufacturer, again, Leningrad Factory of Plastic Devices. In 1925, it started as Metpribor Meteorological Instruments, later subordinated to the All-Union Trust for Optical and Mechanical Production. Design. Soviet razors were often clones of Western designs. Many Leningrad models copied Gillette or German Rotbart razors. The factory made basic 3-piece DE razors and later Gillette slim adjustable knockoffs like the Rubin and Council. Well, we showed a Council last week. That's right. Material, Bakelite plastic, typical for Soviet consumer goods. The case you're holding is Bakelite, which was common for razor boxes. Historical context. From the 1950s to the 1980s, Soviet design prioritized function and utility. Factories employed artistic engineers instead of designers. Products often replicated Western items. Your razor's case even mirrors Gillette Super Speed styling. These razors were everyday items for Soviet soldiers and civilians. Quality was decent and they were built to last. Collectors on Badger and Blade note many are still usable today. Hope you enjoyed seeing them. Absolutely, David. Thank you so much for sending this along, and thank you for all the great information regarding these razors and their cases and the production and the history of it. That is really, really terrific. Folks, if you also have a Russian razor out there from the Soviet era, please send it in with some photos, a little bit of write-up, and we'll share it with all the viewers out there. David, thanks again very, very much. We received this email from viewer Bart Bartlett, and the subject heading reads, Rockwell 6C and 6S blade alignment. Good morning, Mark. In today's Monday Morning Mailbag, that would be May 25th, 2026, you included several comments about loading blades in the Rockwell 6C and 6S safety razors. This technique about loading the blade to avoid blade misalignment piqued my curiosity. I looked more closely at my 6S razor head with a Persona Comfort coated blade inserted. When the base plate and top plate are loosely seated, I was able to ever so slightly move the blade. But after the base plate is flush against the top plate, I was not able to cause any blade misalignment. So my conclusion is there should be no blade alignment worries if the two plates are properly seated. I guess my interest in this is because I'm biased when it comes to the Rockwell 6C and 6S safety razors. The 6S is my daily driver, and in my opinion and experience, the 6C and 6S safety razors are among the best for beginners and experienced shavers. The Rockwell post design has excellent tolerance to assure proper and safe blade alignment. Maybe you can take a closer look at yours and see what you think. If anyone is having blade misalignment, it could be user error or perhaps a quality control manufacturing issue with their particular Rockwell safety razor. Anyway, I wanted to pass this along, mainly because I didn't want anyone who might be considering the purchase of a Rockwell 6C or 6S to get the wrong impression. Hope all is well in Ohio. My regards, and that's from Bart Bartlett. And I've got my 6S right here that came to the channel through the generosity of Jim from Northfield. Jim, thank you again very, very much. And I also have a Persona Red razor blade right here because, here's the blade right here, because I got this great case where I have all my blades organized and stored. Okay, so let's open this up real quickly here, this blade right here. Okay, we'll pull this blade out. Okay, you might see an edit here as I get this open. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so there's my Persona blade right there. Okay, let me set that down, and I'm going to open up the Rockwell 6S here. Beautiful razor, and there's not much play in the cap and the base plate at all. I mean, there's very, very little. So we're going to put the blade in there in the cap here. I'm going to try to show this to you on camera. We're going to put the blade in there like that. And you know, I got to be honest with you. There's like absolutely no play there at all. There's nothing. Maybe just a, where is it? Right here. Where am I? Right here. There I am. There I am right there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try to zoom in there. Look at that. That is, check that out. The tolerances are very, very good. Blade to post there. And I'm using a Persona Platinum Chrome blade, similar to what you were using, Bart. Look at that. And, you know, as I'm dropping the base plate on here, okay, we're going to, what do I got here? We're going to use it as, we're going to put the number 3. Here's my base plate right here. There. Okay, there it is. I had to play with the focusing a little bit. We're going to put level 3 there. That'll be facing the bottom, so you know, okay? So I had to kind of play with that a little bit because the camera wasn't focusing. So we've got that right there, and we're going to take that and we're just going to line that up and just hold it there. And you know what? There's no play there at all. I agree with you, Bart. There's no, I'm just putting it together like that, and I'm not feeling that blade move at all. Not at all. So as long as I'm holding it there like that, and I've got the base plate and the cap squeezed together, and I'm holding the ends of that blade, yeah, I don't see that it's a problem. I don't know. Maybe there is some sort of quality control issue, maybe with some of these razors, maybe a minor issue. I don't know, but because the shaving tip we had on the 25th of May was loading this. Well, you have to look at it, but it's loading it with the cap on a flat surface, and then the blade, and then the base plate, and then attaching the handle that way, and that way things don't shift. But I'm not getting any shifting when I'm doing it by hand either. So I don't know. You know what? Comment below. Let me know. This one, the alignment is spot on. I'm not getting any misalignment or any kind of slop or shift at all. I didn't feel anything like that at all. And again, the Rockwell 6S, fantastic, fantastic razor. Bart, thanks again very, very much. And folks, again, comment below. Let me know what's your experience with loading a blade and the alignment and so on with the Rockwell 6S or the 6C. Comment below. Let us know. Bart, again, thanks very, very much. Hey, Al Spencer checked in with his observations regarding the Rockwell razor, and here's what he has to say. Mark, my comparison observation is this. I have the Rockwell 6C, the RazorRock GC Game Changer 0.84, and the RazorRock Mamba 70. The 6C has the posts on the cap, while both RazorRocks have the posts on the base plate. Let me show you that because I have a Game Changer right here. It's a 0.68. Let me show you what Al is referring to. The Game Changer razor head has the posts on the base plate right there. Let me show you that. Check that out. Can you see that right there? Okay, see the posts are on the base plate, okay, like that. All right, and that means that the cap, okay, the cap has the holes right there on the top there. Okay, so it's kind of backwards. Okay, so the posts are on the base plate and the holes are on the cap, and that's how it lines up. Now, he goes on to say the 6C has the posts on the cap while both Razor Rocks have the posts on the base plate. There is a blade slop with the 6C and none with the Razor Rock razors. The 6C does not have the tolerances that Razor Rock products have. Bottom line, if you have to go through a special alignment process and it affects your shave, you might want to look for a better option. To be honest, I've gotten great shaves with the 6C, but better with my Game Changer .84. Yeah, that's from Al Spencer. Al, thank you very, very much. He says, love your content, Al, and he allowed me to use this. Al, thank you very, very much. I really, really do appreciate your comments on that because we like to show both sides of the equation. And you know what? Again, perhaps it's a your mileage may vary kind of a thing. Not entirely sure, but yeah, I will say this Game Changer razor head with this beautiful handle here. This handle was a game changer when I attached it to this Razor Rock Game Changer razor head. This is terrific, and I agree with you, Al. There's absolutely no slop in this razor head at all. It takes a little bit getting used to in loading the blade because it's kind of backwards. You know, putting the blade on the base plate with the posts and then attaching the cap that way. And I find myself, instead of using my left hand to hold everything, I'm holding it with my right hand and attaching the handle with my left hand, that sort of thing. But a terrific, terrific razor. Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, my 6S, you saw, I'm not getting much slop with it at all. Comment below and let me know what your experiences are with a Game Changer razor and also the Rockwell 6S and 6C. Al, thanks again very, very much. We received this email from viewer Joel Toronto, and the subject heading reads, Linus and Lucy with the Jerry Granelli Trio. And Joel writes, Hi Mark, you being a Peanuts fan, I'm sure would enjoy seeing this song being played. That's from Joel Toronto. We'll link it below. It really is a terrific rendition of Linus and Lucy. Got a great intro as well. Nice twist to it. Yeah, Linus and Lucy with the Jerry Granelli Trio. Joel, thanks again very, very much. Well, we got some great answers to the question posed by Nate Jackson. What's the difference between a percolator and a Moka Pot? Well, Chris Lacey wrote, and he says, Hi, Mark. Here's some information on the coffee questions on last episode. How does Moka Pot differ from a percolator? A Moka Pot doesn't actually circulate water in a continuous loop like a percolator. Instead, it is a one-way, pressure-driven journey from the bottom to the top. Another question was, what is pour-over coffee? Simply explained, this is a process where you take hot water and pour it slowly over coffee grounds. This process differs from French press in that it separates flavor notes. French press is like beef stew, where everything tastes harmonious. Pour over is like steak with baked potato. Everything on the plate has its own flavor profile. If you want to get even granular, try Chemex. The filter used in Chemex separates flavor profile even further. Here's a fun fact. A 12-ounce mug of drip coffee will almost always have more total caffeine than a 2-ounce double shot of espresso, even though the espresso tastes drastically stronger and has a much higher concentration of caffeine per sip. The more water that is in contact with coffee, the higher the caffeine. Remember that when drinking cold brew coffee. Thanks for another great episode. And that's from Chris Lacey. Chris, thanks for all the great information. Aaron Watson checked in, and he writes, the biggest difference between a Moka Pot and percolator is steam pressure. A Moka Pot forces steam through the coffee and produces a stronger coffee, almost like an espresso. The percolator forces the water up and then falls through the ground. How about that? Brian Zions Bernstein checked in, and he wrote, hey Mark, regarding the Moka Pot versus Percolator pot, below is the response from Google Gemini. When my son was in Boy Scouts, I would bring my camping percolator, and if you left it on the stove too long, you got coffee so strong it could eat the whiskers off your face and cause chest hair to grow. I'm talking from experience. I hope you have a fabulous week. See you on Monday. Brian Zions Bernstein. And here's the information that he got from Google Gemini. What is the difference between a Moka Pot and a percolator? While both brew on a stovetop, the key difference is how the water moves through the coffee. Moka Pot, water passes through the grounds only once. Forced upward by steam pressure, it creates a thick, concentrated espresso-like brew. Percolator, water continually cycles through the grounds, boiling and dripping back down repeatedly. It creates a lighter, traditional drip-style coffee, but can easily over-extract and taste bitter if left too long. How about that? That's great information. So we got some really, really terrific information from folks regarding the difference between a Moka Pot and a percolator. Thank you, one and all. Really, really do appreciate it. Well, we were also asking last week, how do you roast coffee beans at home? I have no idea how to do that. And the answer came from viewer Gary JC, who wrote, recent Monday Morning Mailbag, you responded to one of the roasting of coffee comments asking if you need any special equipment to roast coffee yourself at home. Realistically and practically, no. A gas stove and a stainless steel pot with a lid would be good enough. You could go for fancier devices, but no need. The lid should ideally be glass. Here is a playlist from YouTube which show and discuss some things about managing, roasting, and brewing coffee at home. And we'll share that link with you below. You may find a few merchants of both unroasted and roasted coffee sellers online. One of the better known ones is Sweet Maria's in Oakland, California, and that's from Gary. Gary, thank you again very, very much. Really, really do appreciate it. Check out the link below, folks, where you can learn all about roasting coffee beans at home. Gary, thanks again very, very much. And that wraps up another Monday Morning Mailbag. Thanks so much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Please share, please subscribe, please like. Hit that bell so it'll give you a yell the next time I upload a video. Comment below. Let me know. Check out my Amazon product page at amazon.com/shop/Mark Zarady, where you'll find all the Amazon listed products that I review in this channel, organized and categorized so you can find everything in a snap very easily. I'll leave you with this laugh. Hey, we have another Double Take cartoon puzzle this week. Try to find the differences between the two cartoon panels. If you need more time, just pause the video, or try to find all the differences before time runs out. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. From the 3MB, where every shave tells a story, make it a great week.